Hey everyone, Walter Crosby with Helix Sales Development and your host of Sales and Cigars. Another episode today. My guest is Michael Schill. You might know him from college football. He played at Florida State. You might know him from his media presence. He's all over the internet. He's got a full service marketing agency called Full Circle Agency. He's into movies. He's into helping businesses take that leap to get to the next level to scale. It was interesting conversation. He just got done filming a movie, so we talked a little bit about that. So go grab a cigar, strap in for another fun episode of Sales and Cigars. Michael,
Thanks.
I really appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule to jump on the podcast and have
Hey
a
man, I'm
conversation.
looking forward to this thing, and thank you for the opportunity to share the stage with you this afternoon, man. And like I said, I'm looking forward to having a great conversation with you, man.
Cool. Yeah, we're just going to have some fun. I think we got a lot of things to kind of navigate, and it'll be fun. So let's talk about because you've got an interesting background, and I mean you've done a bunch of different things, and you have like a really cool journey. So why don't go to kindergarten, but kind of go back and come back to how you got to where you are now, because you're a successful guy
Yes,
having
sir.
fun.
Yes, sir. And I promise I won't go back to kindergarten, man. We'll start in we'll start in college, man. We're going to start with the upbringing. The upbringing had a lot to do with what transpired and what continues to transpire. I like to start off every conversation to say that I'm only on chapter one of a book of 500 chapters. I'm just getting my feet wet, so
Okay.
we ain't done nothing yet in comparison of what we're about to do, right? But everything stems from the childhood. Everything stems from the positive upbringing and the accountability that was instilled at a very young age. We fast forward, had the opportunity to go to Florida State University, majored in biology and exercise science, and also was humbled at the opportunity to play football over there at Florida State University. So that leadership was very, very important
Hmm.
in my life, and I saw great leaders such as Bobby Bowden for 1 year, Jimbo Fisher for the next 2.5. So that was incredible. We fast forward after college and learned a ton there. Um, went immediately into sales. Went immediately into sales, working for a orthopedic and pharmaceutical sales company. And one of the biggest things and biggest lessons I learned there was just, man, it's exactly like sports, and you got to train every single day.
Hmm.
And the reason why I say this is because we actually trained on a guy who ultimately I worked alongside for the next 5 years. Didn't know who he was. One of my buddies had sent me his data and information over, and I would just train on this content every day. And went to number one in that company in less than 1 year or 1.5 years. It was a gentleman by the name of Grant Cardone. And fast forward about a year and a
Hmm.
half, had the opportunity to work alongside that gentleman for about 5 years. And I'll just say you learn something new every single about 5 minutes in that ecosystem, in that environment. So I won't go too deep into that. Was with him for about 5 years. Broke off and started the Full Circle Agency, South Florida's fastest growing marketing and advertising firm. We work with big businesses, small to medium sized businesses. I'm really excited about our sports and entertainment division as well. And we're pressing on that. The goal was to build that to a multi-billion-dollar organization as far as evaluation. And that's exactly what we're going to do, man. That in a nutshell is where I came from and what I'm currently doing. And we're about to put on a show of what's about to be. What's about to be.
So I love to go back to being a kid, and that's the
Yeah.
foundation, right? Somebody taught you accountability, respect, all of those things that we learn as a kid, and you just keep building on that. You're making you make the comparison, right? And you're one of the few people that can really truly make the comparison between sales and athletics. And you hit on the thing that to me is what corporate America doesn't get is that you got to train, right? As an athlete, you showed up at practice, you showed up in the weight room, and you were expected to practice, you were expected to be coached, you're expected to get better, right? That's just being part of an athlete. And in sales, this is my opinion, But there's a lot of salespeople that show up just thinking they're going to go do sales without practicing. And to get better at it, you got to have a mentor, right? Yours was Grant, which is a pretty big mentor, and it's about listening, it's about observing, and it's about trying to put those things into practice, just like practice in athletics. And that's what I think we do poorly in corporate America, right? We can go do it ourselves, but it's easier to do it if we got a culture around us that's driving us and a teammate that's helping us up off the turf or whatever the
Well, if
situation is.
you're doing it
That
yourself, if you're doing it yourself, do you really have a duplicatable and replicatable system that can actually warrant scaling? Listen, if you do it yourself and you stay doing it yourself, you got a job, you don't got a business. The only way to scale is with people, and the only way to scale with people is if you have a system and process that is predictable, right? That has a predictable result that you can go ahead and administer, much like a playbook, but then reinforce the playbook every single day. And that's in sales, that's in customer service, that's in marketing and advertising, that's in your finance department, that's in your leadership department. Hell, that's in you as a leader. That's in you as a leader. So
Yeah, it all
yeah,
starts with the entrepreneur,
100%.
right? That if we got to emulate what we want
Yeah,
everybody to do.
yeah, exactly. So I'm with that 100%, and that practice thing is, it was funny. We were told in the previous ecosystem that I was in, you can either practice on yourself or practice on somebody that has your money. One of them costs you a shit ton more. So I'm gonna practice.
Hmm.
I'm gonna practice
Exactly
on
right.
myself, and that has to be consistent. That has to be every single day. There needs to be time allotted every single day, and I do that to this day. I will never stop doing that. I mean, I train on sales all the time, and or effective communication, or some aspect of conversation, man, because that's everything.
It's
That's everything.
because we have to be able to communicate as a leader. You got to communicate your ideas and
Mm.
your vision. As a salesperson, you got to be able to communicate your value prop or understand their issues and know how you can fit in. It's key in practice, I think, and I don't think anybody ever
Mm-mm.
stop. I I was in Florida last week, working on some training for myself, um, that I do every year with the same group, just kind of sharpening that saw, making sure that there's some new ideas and or rehashing old ideas. It's a I don't know. I read
Mm-hmm.
every day. It's just something that you either have it or you don't, I think. And you I don't, you probably realize it, but like when you're talking about it, your energy goes up. You're like excited about it. It's not like, ugh, gotta go do more practice. It's like you're up and
Yeah.
ready to go.
You well
It's the thing.
it's you said something there. It's like either you got it or you don't got it. Well, either you got it or you have nothing. It's just one or the other. So I mean, hell, you put oil in your vehicle, you put gas into your vehicle. I mean, you got to treat everything the exact same way, but tend to it every day. And I don't know. That's just something that I've seen the best do. Yeah, it's
It's
a
a drive.
drive. It's a drive, but you should be driven by the result because there's immediate ROI. Well, let's rephrase that. Maybe not immediate ROI, but the ROI will come. So it's for a purpose. It's not for nothing. It's for something. You just got to play kind of that long game and realize it's coming and continue to do it. Just continue to do that training thing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're on a football field or in a conference room or a boardroom or, it on a golf course. It's all about using what you've learned and
Totally.
keeping after it. So let's talk a little bit about full circle. Like the name's intriguing. I think there's a story there. But let's talk about what you're doing with that. That medium-sized business or the one that's trying to get to the next level. They're trying to get from 10 to 20, right? And they come to you and say, "Hey, Michael, we need some help." Where do you fit for those entrepreneurs that are trying to get to that
Yeah,
next
so
point?
so great question, man. Great question. Again, really excited about the full circle. And there's two types of businesses you had just mentioned, right? There's the business that's already sustainable. There's the business that already has a massive proof of concept. They're doing 30, 40, 50, 150 million in revenue, and we work with those businesses. The eBay watches, the Lions Not Sheeps, the Amazing Lash Studios, those are our clients. But there's also the clients that are looking to get there, looking to get to that next level. It's two different animals. And where do we fit is primarily specific to what an organization needs. And let's face it, if they knew what they needed, they would already be doing it themselves. So what we do is we do a analysis. We understand where they're currently at. And with that understanding, we adapt 1, 2, or 3 key things that we can go ahead and attribute to initiate some sort of ROI. Now, with that being said, the services that we do provide is anything and everything from website development and optimization, right? Of course, you provide that SEO. We provide automation, email marketing, text message campaigns. If there was something that we did really, really, really good, it would be that email marketing. We absolutely crush it. One of the companies we work with, we shut down their warehouse like 2 weeks ago because they were getting so many orders that they couldn't manage it. So that's the thing that we do very well. And then on top of that, ad creation and ad management, that is something we are damn good at too. So those 4 to 5 positive things we really specialize in. And then for that sole individual and or business who has a massive social media presence or looking to get us a massive social media presence, we also do the social media management as well. So that, it's like that full circle approach, man. You got to be doing everything because Coca-Cola's doing everything, so you probably do everything too.
Right. It's sort of like everything works and nothing works, but it's all we don't know when and where. We got to keep
Totally.
after it all the time and continually pushing it. So let me ask this question around because email marketing is a way to stay top of mind, keep touches with people without being terribly intrusive, but you still got to add value, right? To the when you're touching the prospects. So how is it? Because it's one of the things you said you do really well. Is it copy? Is it understanding what that prospect or what their problems are, or what your clients trying to say that they haven't been able to say well? I mean, how do you pull that out of them? Because I think that's the secret sauce is helping somebody understand what they're not saying.
So when you're email marketing, there's two buckets. There's the people that you're attempting to do business with, and then there's the people that have already done business with you where you're looking to foster those relationships. I mean, the reactivation of the purchasing population is a bucket that a lot of businesses neglect. And it's a bucket that's so easy to pull from. So it's dependent on who it is you're marketing to. And when I say dependent, the message is dependent on that. When I'm marketing and we're putting marketing and advertising campaigns out to individuals who responded to an ebook download, who had raised their hand for more information, or we were able to scrape some sort of database and get their email address. That is all value, and I love that you said that. It's value, 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 ask. Value, 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 ask. You got to understand those people in the sales process. The sales process is everything. You got your meet and greet, your fact finding, your overcoming objections. We can go into that for years if we want to go into that. But that meet and greet and fact finding, that's where you're at. I got to lower the barrier of entry. I got to get them to know who I am. I got to get them accustomed to seeing me every single second of the day. And I got to provide value to show that whatever it is the leader in that space. Then and only then is it warranted that you ask something of them. So that's that approach for those individuals. For my other individuals on the back end, the people that have already said yes once or twice, Man, I'm incentivizing. I'm rolling out testimonials and case studies. I'm asking them to come to communities. I'm telling them to bring a friend for a BOGO deal, or if it's a product or if it's a service. You figure out some way, shape, or form to do that. It's a different approach, but value is always number one. Value is always number one.
So getting to the people that have a list of they've purchased from you in the past. Like I'm thinking like a CEO of a company, and they have this. They've got 1,000 names that have purchased from them in the last 3 years, and they just haven't gone back and touched them. That's
Gold.
gold, right? That list of
Gold.
people.
Absolute gold. You want a quick deal? Just hit that list. Keep it simple, but you got to hit that list in an effective way. And if you've got that thing sitting on the shelf for 2.5 years, and then you start emailing it, right now you cannot expect immediate ROI because these people forgot about you. But I challenge everybody to tell me what they had for dinner 4 nights ago. And if you're taking that long to think about it, you don't know it to the back of your hand. So how the hell is somebody going to remember you from 2.5 years ago? So you just,
Right.
but that is gold, man.
Got to warm them back up. Give them. I kind of look at it as maybe I'm wrong, a bank account. You got to keep putting money in there on a regular basis before you take something out to go make a purchase. You
Totally,
got to keep dumping it in. That's
totally.
the value.
Deposits every single day.
Yeah. All right. So the there's a sports. How does that sports aspect of the business? How does that play into this, right? Because you're doing some. Sports to me is a
Oh
little
yeah.
different thing, right? So how are you managing? Are you promoting? What
Yeah,
what does
great
that look
question.
like?
So, the sports and entertainment division is specifically designed to enhance the skill sets, the wherewithals, and the business foundation for athletes and entertainers alike. And so that division is solely working on one with individuals. We have a collected group of guys and gals, and we're constantly shedding light on things that, man, things that they don't tell you that you need to know as it relates to taxes, or as it relates to business, or as it relates to opportunities such as real estate and so on and so forth. We're building that community. We're also in strategic partnerships with certain brands. Um, and the cross brand and the pollination as it relates to getting the athletes opportunities to monetize their current platform, and we got some
Hmm.
pretty cool things rocking and rolling with that. That's what I mean when I say the sports and entertainment division. And so two different animals, both are incredibly important. And when it's all said and done, it's the exact same damn thing. And it's marketing and advertising.
Yeah, but you're leveraging. It's a little. You're leveraging their brand instead of the company brand. They're following. But I heard you say something else that I think is I don't know, really meaningful to athletes, that they don't necessarily know how to go out there and what's a good investment, a bad investment, what's a good real estate deal, what's a bad real estate deal. Go put your money in a restaurant. I mean, helping them see business, right? Even if they majored in business as an athlete, they're still coming out of there with theory. They don't know what's up. They don't have 5 years, excuse me, 5 years experience with working with a real estate guy that helps them ascertain the right kind of deals. That to me that's like a bedrock. Like the foundation you got coming out of growing up and being taught the right and wrong, the accountability piece. You're helping them fill that piece in, and that's got to be
It
huge
is.
for them.
And I see the value in it. Being an ex-athlete, and a lot of my close guys and a lot of my close friends, man, they're still they're still active. They're still playing at the highest level. And listen, everybody says that you should just learn. right? You should just learn it. And if it was that easy, everybody would do it. But you got to remember, these folks are at the top 1% of the 1% of the 1% of the 1% in their respected field. Time taken away from perfecting their skill is an opportunity and a
Hmm.
window for somebody to go ahead and take their spot. So there's a medium that you got to play within as it relates to. Listen, yeah, you may think you have all the time in the world, but there's always someone bigger, faster, and stronger coming to take what you got. So the primary area of focus has to be on the vehicle that got you to where you're currently at this very moment. And so I understand that element of it too, and so I'm taking upon myself as a responsibility to help fill that void, and excited to see where that goes. Very excited.
Hey, I think it's kind of giving back, um, and helping people, be successful, because you go back to the 50s and 60s, baseball players that were, like guys like Mickey Mantle, they did okay, but they fucked up
Oh
way
man.
more than they were successful. And then we all need that. If we had that like mentor or that coach to come along and allow me to focus on what I do really well, and have somebody else help me with that, and that's what you're doing. So that's awesome. Um, there's another thing we kind of talked about in the green room that I kind of intrigued about. So let's talk about the movie business.
Haha. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Excited, man. Excited. We just got done. We're involved, or I am involved, executive producer of a movie called Lanier. Man, it's going to be incredible. And so that was something that I just got done doing the past couple of weeks here. Listen, I am also an executive producer of a show called Brickle Driver. I actually with Dash Radio for about 3 years. We had over 10 million listeners each and every single week. And so with that being said,
Hmm.
just that entertainment, the movie, the radio, the man, I just like, I don't know, man. It's just that performance, man. Whenever there's a show, bro, let's just put on a show. Let's just get your popcorn ready. Like that's just what it is. That's just what it is. So, but that movie business is incredible. This is my first movie, my first featured film, and man, y'all gotta wait and see about what we're about to drop. It's just it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
How long, like, we don't have to get into all the details, but like you just wrapped finishing the shooting of it. So like from that time to the time that it shows up on a screen someplace, right? Whether that's on your screen in your living room or a screen in a theater, like what's that time frame? What does that look like?
Yeah,
How long does that
totally.
take?
Well, listen, it ranges. It ranges. If we're talking about shooting a Marvel movie, I mean that could be 2.5 years. It depends on what it is, what the magnitude of the movie, the budget, the casting, the different elements, the like who's on the project. Just so many things are involved. But for us in our deal, our anticipation is to have it out within the next about 9 or so months. We know we can push it out
Okay.
during that. We've got a crazy team. This isn't something that started two weeks ago. This is something that's been in progress for the past year and a half. So we're racking on all cylinders, and we hope to have it on a screen near you by the end of 2023. By the end of 2023.
Awesome. And I get the feeling that this won't be the last one. You'll be
Oh,
doing some more of
100%,
these.
man. I'm big on eyeballs, man. Eyeballs are the most important currency these days, so I need everybody to know my face. Everybody.
Well, maybe we play a little piece in that. I don't have 24 million eyeballs watching this, but it can't hurt, I
Absolutely,
suppose.
man. Absolutely.
Um, so, what's the best way? Like you said a bunch of things here that's meaningful, that might resonate with some of the people in the audience. What's the best way to reach out to Michael and get your attention, and say, hey, I need
Yeah,
some help?
man.
What's
Yeah,
the best
man.
way to
So,
do that?
so, so the best way is via Instagram. at Mike, Mike, and then Schill, S as in Sam, C as in cat, H as in hat, ILL as in Larry underscore. So at Mike Schill underscore on Instagram as well as Twitter. And then Michael Schill, Michael, and then Schill on LinkedIn. If you reach on out to me, we're more than happy to help out. Social
Social media.
media, 110%. And man, I would love to have a conversation with you, whether it's on a business side or a marketing and advertising side. I mean, we really are doing something special, man. And I got some massive goals, and I am not going to get there without other people. And I realize that. So hey, man, just keep them coming, y'all. Just keep them coming.
So I'm going to have all that stuff in the show notes with people. They'll just be able to go back to the platform wherever they get podcasts and reach out to you from there. So let me ask you this question. Past or present, does Michael have a relationship with cigars?
Yeah, man. So, I mean, of course I smoke cigars, brother. Like, I mean, of course in the past I smoked them, but present time, actually, believe it or not, one of my closest friends, Greg Wood, down here in Miami, Florida, his brother Greg Wood and their daughter Tatiana Miranda Cigars, a massive, millions and multi-million dollar company as it relates to cigars, and know them very, very, very well, know Nestor very well, and of course the Miranda family and the Wood family. So, I mean, when you talk about cigars, I mean, I just go over there and they just go and they don't stop. And these are people that have been in that space for 40, 50, 60 years. So do I have a relationship with cigars? 100%. I actually have relationships with people who run massive cigar companies, and I don't mind smoking one every now and then, brother. Do not mind. Do not mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Celebratory?
celebratory. Or every now and then. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna, I'm not doing that every single day. But listen, if the situation is right and there's a cigar and I can cut it, hey man, let's go to work. Go to work.
And maybe there's a deal to be made over a cigar,
Absolutely,
right?
man. Absolutely.
Some of the best conversations I've had around business is, and some of the best conversations that I didn't anticipate was sitting down at a place, walked into, sat down, have a cigar, and there's somebody shows up, and all of a sudden you got this connection, right? Because you got the cigar, and it's easy, right? What are you smoking?
Boom.
And boom, you're in a conversation, and you never know where to
And you
go,
have time. And
right?
you have time because it's not like something to where you're smoking something that is out in 4 seconds. I mean, you can sit on the cigar for hours if you wanted to. So yeah, I agree with that
Yeah,
100%. 100%.
yeah. Fun stuff. All right, man. I appreciate you taking some time. I know you're a busy guy. Good luck with the movie, and whatever we can do to help you take the agency to another level. You're just gonna keep going after the clouds, right? That's
Hell
what
yeah,
you're doing.
man. I got to, man. I got to. I'll see y'all at the top. I'll see y'all at the top, man.